But if you are wanting a lot of FD content, do not worry, because I'm really dumb and I bought a second FD. Sorry I'm late on this one. Yesterday was just one of those days where no part of the universe wanted me to accomplish anything. But today is a new day. Full garage update. Well, the first update is that is now 5 cars. They are in they're in 4 different places, spanning about 1,000 miles geographically. Now the funniest thing is, out of all 5 cars in this channel's garage, one of them fully works. Guess which one it is? It's the white FD. I have 2 Subarus and a Toyota and a rotary engined 94 RX7. The only car that works completely flawlessly. It used to be the RX7 and the STI, but then I broke the STI by hitting it with a mountain. And so now it's just the FD. But I'm gonna go through all the cars one by one and give you the latest updates, because today too, I guess. I need a warehouse to move out of the studio ASAP. Oh God, I'm running out of battery. Everything's great, everything's so great. I wanna just say the rest, but then that's gonna, come on, just give me one shot. Just give me one shot at it, just. A train, of course. A fucking train. I'm just gonna go through every car one by one. So, starting with car number 1, the 2006 Subaru. I can do that better. The 2006 Subaru WRX STI. No, I mean, it's not the day for it, I guess. It's one of the newest cars in the garage. You've seen it in all the recent videos, and I was scheduled to go out and film this month all of the stunts in the Baby Driver opening sequence in that car, and then I crashed it, which is bad, but the good news is it will be fixed. And more broadly, it's kind of the entire purpose of that car. Obviously not to be crashed, but every year I'm getting more scared of like driving the WRX, because so much of my general life and life as a car enthusiast is tied up in that physical chassis. Since day one in that car, I've always said if I got to do my dream WRC build and entered a stage rally and wrapped it around a tree, it would make for fantastic living room art. I've just done too many things in that car. It's taken me all around the country. I've slept in countless gas stations along the way. I lived all the stories that I got to tell on VinWiki in that car, and that car drove me to VinWiki to tell them. And in terms of sheer driving experience, I love the GD platform. Like, I've learned 90% of my driving in it, but it's getting to a point where, you know, over the last few years, I've slowly widened my margin for error that I deem acceptable in that car, just because I don't want to ruin it. That margin for error is so wide that I'm not only not going out to learn new things in that car, but I'm also not doing some of the things that I did before. So when I found the STI online, it was perfect, because it is a mechanically strong car with a few modifications that unlock new abilities that the WRX never had. But more importantly, it had already been through a lot of shit. It was never going to be eligible to be like a collector condition car, which meant that if I accidentally went 11 tenths instead of 10 tenths like I did a little over a week ago, I could just focus on getting it repaired, back on its feet again, and not kick myself any more than is useful for the crash happening, which would not be the case if I did that same thing in the WRX. Car number 2, the original great white piece of shit, the 2006 WRX. Speaking of the white WRX, I thought I was dead. You're driving it again? What's going on? Short answer, I have no idea. I went to Ducky's at the beginning of the weekend to do a leak down test and a compression test, and what we learned from it was exactly nothing, because I was borrowing Ducky while he was actually working on the Lexus, and he was in a rush because he had to leave like midway through the day to go upstate to go rescue his Geo tracker. And so we recorded doing leak down tests and compression tests on one side of the motor. And then off camera, when we did the other side, we realized that the first tests that we did were done completely wrong, and we didn't redo it. So now we're just back where we started, except we took apart the Subaru and put it back together. Basically, we did a 4-hour spark plug job on the WRX. I've had enough of not knowing what's going on with that car, because if it's a head gasket, so be it. I just need to be able to plan for that. And if it's a radiator, then what have I been doing all this time? So all I'm gonna do is take it out to a parking lot, run first gear figure eights at a pretty high RPM around 2 light posts, and count the amount of laps it takes for the car to push coolant and overheat. And fortunately, since one of the parts that I need to fix the STI is a new Mishimoto radiator, I'm gonna put that in the WRX first. And if I can do double the amount of laps before overheating as I could with the radiator that's currently in the WRX, then I know pretty confidently it was the radiator, not the head gasket. So for now, I'm just dailying it as a nice little fun ticking time bomb potentially, but it's probably gonna go back into storage at the end of this week because of the next car. Car number 3. The 1999 Lexus LS400. I filmed several drift videos last year with this car, never posted them, and then halfway through December just abandoned it in Ducky's driveway. And finally, a year later, we're getting to do the mods that we were originally going to do about a year ago, which is just basic drivability stuff like seats, steering wheel. Is that it? Oh, and a diff. Ooh, yeah, definitely diff was not a drivability mod. That was just because the old diff looked like this.
There's no bearings left. I was literally turning this wheel and that wheel wasn't moving. The welded diff. You want to see how much of this is? Okay.
How is
All
it?
right, let me explain things.
Okay.
What we have here.
You know, there used to be material in there.
Look at the... How is this thing not locked up? Was there a plate in here?
Yeah. I mean, it looks fine. Throw it back in there.
I'll throw it back in. You want me to?
No, probably not. Is there anything salvageable from this?
Toast.
Nothing? Okay.
All the bearings are dead. I mean, technically the ring gear, no, it's probably toast too. It's probably had metal run through it, it's toast.
Just as some background, that car was supposed to be the channel project last year before I found the FD. We were going to do a CD00A swap, single turbo, built motor, all that sort of stuff, standalone ECU. And then I spent all of the money for that on the FD. But yeah, the first event is in 3 weeks. It's at a track I've never been to called Evergreen, and I am super excited because it's a 2-day event, and I plan to just catch up as much as possible for lost time. Car number 4, the white FD, the barn find FD from last year's series that we drove from Arizona back here to New York. Since then, it has stayed in the storage unit because every month it got $10,000 more valuable, and I was too scared to drive it anywhere, including to a gas station. So, it's very nice. It was a great investment. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with it now because even though before I said, I don't care that it's like super collector edition, it should be used. Even if it's not modified, it should still be used. I'm kind of at a point now where like, I'm terrified to drive that car now. It is worth double what it was last year. And not modifying it, but driving it hard was one thing. But now it's like, it's all original, everything. It's still got even if I got a chip in the windshield has the original 25th anniversary Mazda stickers from the dealership in it. Like, I can't, it's so stressful. But the one thing that I swore to myself I do is if this July I end up getting off the wait list and get a ticket to the top speed event at Sun Valley Tour de Force, I'm gonna put it on a trailer, drive it to Utah, and try and do a top speed run to cross 50,000 miles. Because right now in the storage unit, it sits at 49,950 miles. Try to hit 160 as I cross 50,000. I feel like that would be a great way to cross 50,000 miles. But if you are wanting a lot of FD content, do not worry because I'm really dumb and I bought a second FD. This one is also a barn find, but it looks the part a lot more than the last one did. This is a 93 instead of a 94, so the doors are probably going to be very droopy. It hasn't run in 2 years. It has a couple ECUs inside, which seems to indicate that they never got it running properly on any of them. The original motor was blown up. It comes with the original motor as a short block outside of the car, and then in the car is a replacement 50,000 kilometer JDM REW, which supposedly ran when it was parked. Have I mentioned I have never seen this car with my own eyes? I bought it in January. It's currently at Tiny's house at Tail of the Dragon, and I really hope it really is at Tiny's house at Tail of the Dragon. Considering the prices of FDs now, I got a really good deal on it, and it is exactly what I needed to do the build that I want to do, which some of you already know is a Veilside drift car. Not a Veilside show car, not a movie replica cars and coffee car, but a Veilside drift car. For a couple months now, I've been talking with JPR Imports to really wrap my head around what will be needed to bring this thing to fruition. They were the shop that put on the 7's Day Barbecue in this video. Is that what the card is over there? I don't know. It's the 7's Day Barbecue video with the burnout and the CYM. You might have heard in that video that they were also the people that built Rob Daum's first 3-rotor before he owned it. And after quite a while of going back and forth with them, asking their opinion and their advice on what direction to take the mechanical side of this build, I'm pulling the trigger on that build this week. A lot of parts just got ordered, and there's a chance that if everything goes our way, it will be driftable, not with a veil side or anything, but like mechanically, it will be a driftable Mad Max mobile looking FD by Sevens Day, which is important because July 9th and 10th is a big rotary track day that is essentially the follow-up event to last year's Sevens Day barbecue, except because of the giant turnout at the barbecue, this year's event's just going to be insane. And I think Roger himself is going to be bringing out his long-awaited triple turbo 3-rotor fail side. I went by the other day to pick up a part from him, and I looked at it, and there is not a square millimeter of that car that has not been given some love. Like, that thing is just... Mine's not going to be that. But what it lacks in attention to detail, it will make up for in tire smoke. That I can assure you.